Hello, I am Dr. Aaron Meyer. Dr. Jeanette Francis has asked me to cover the difference in persuasion in a multicultural world. This example was taken from my book on Cultural Map. The ways in which you persuade others and the kinds of arguments you find convincing are deeply rooted in your culture's assumptions and attitudes. For example, people from Southern Europe and Germany tend to find principles first arguments most persuasive, whereas American and British managers are more likely to be influenced by applications first logic. When Kate Smith, an American engineer, began working as a research manager for a German automotive company, her first project with the company was providing technical advice on how to reduce carbon emissions from one of the group's green car models. After visiting several automotive plants, observing the systems and processes, and meeting with dozens of experts and customers, Kate developed a set of recommendations she felt would meet the company's strategic and budgetary goals. She got ready to go to Munich to give a one-hour presentation to the German directors. Smith delivered her presentation and got right to the point, explaining the strategies she would recommend based on her findings. But before she had even finished the first slide, one of the directors raised his hand and protested.
Please explain what methodology you used for analyzing your data and how that led you to come to these findings.
Another director jumped in.
How did you get to these conclusions? You were giving us your recommendations, but I don't understand how you got here.
From that moment on, the presentation went downhill and turned into a fiasco. Not fair for someone so prepared. The problem Kate ran into was principles first reasoning, which derives conclusions or facts from general principles or concepts that build up to a general conclusion. People from principles first cultures, such as Germany, France and Russia, want to understand the why behind proposals or requests before they move to action. Kate's tendency was towards the opposite. Applications first reasoning, where general conclusions are reached based on a pattern of factual observations from the real world. Application first cultures tend to focus less on the why and more on the how.
On the other hand, Hans Müller, a German manager working in the U.S., would start his presentation by laying out the foundation for his conclusion, setting the parameters, outlining his data, methodology, and explaining his argument. He was taken aback when his American boss told him, "In your next presentation, get right to the point." You lost their attention before you got to the important part. In Hans' mind, he was thinking that you cannot come to a conclusion without first defining the parameters.
When working with principles first people, make your argument effectively by explaining and validating the concept underlying your reasoning before coming to conclusions. Leave enough time for challenge and debate of the underlying concepts. Expect training sessions to take longer. Provide instructions. Explain why, not just how. When presenting to application first people, make your arguments effectively by getting right to the point. Stick to concrete examples, tools and next steps. Spend relatively little time building up the theory or concept behind your arguments. You'll need less time for conceptual debate. Finally, focus on the how, more than on the why.